I really wanted to use my Sonos Era 300 to check my mixes in a home environment, but couldn't. The Sonos Era 300 was not even able to connect to Apple Music. I did a video about this a couple of weeks ago. Well, there have been developments. Shall we? To quickly sum up the situation, Sonos was not able to play any Atmos because it could not A. connect to Apple Music, and B. there was no way to link to your music library, which apparently was functionality that was there before and miraculously disappeared. But what exactly is it that we're trying to do here? One of the most important parts of the quality control or QC process before a record is approved to be sent to a label for distribution is making sure the mix is all nice and dandy on different devices. Headphones, your car, and in a home environment through relatively affordable consumer level gear. With the proliferation of all these smart devices, you no longer need a million speakers all around you to experience immersive audio at home. So, the Sonos Era 300 was my choice because of all its amazing technology. A gazillion little speakers sending audio into the room in lots of different ways, using the reflections on the ceiling to simulate height speakers, tuning your room and what have you. It really is crazy, but I digress. So when the mix is ready, I export an MP4, and watch this. The file plays Atmos in compatible Atmos devices, like the Sonos Era 300, and also plays Atmos via spatial audio, Apple's thing, when playing through compatible Apple devices, which are mostly the newer models, maybe last 4 or 5 years or so. So a great way to QC in what's available out there. But it would not work. So I called them and they said it was a known issue and they were working on it and did not have a time frame for a resolution. I'll link the other video I did that I mentioned in the description below. Then I hit the fora and found out that there is a desktop app that you need to download for your computer to make this work. So on an odyssey I went to find that desktop app. Good luck! Took me a long time searching only to find nothing. I said, okay, I will try to do this through the iPhone app. That's when I saw that there was an update. Yes, by Olympian Zeus, they fixed it! I yelled out loud. I opened the fresh app and went right to settings. And it was there. Music library. But what do you know? It would not recognize my computer's username and or password. Be careful. If you come across this, most likely this is not your fault. My pain, your gain. There's nothing wrong with your username or password, and yes, you are entering them correctly. The app just cannot do it. Of course, they won't admit it. I explicitly asked the customer service rep, and they tell you that it works best when setting this up through the desktop app. Yep, the one that we could not find earlier. What now? Okay, chat. Hopped on a chat with a rep. They responded very fast, but could not help me via chat. They said better call them so they can walk me through it, getting remote access to my computer and so on, which I understand. But it was almost 1 a.m. and everyone was already asleep at home, and you do not mess with a 4-year-old getting up in the middle of the night. So my adventure would have to continue another day. That day was 2 to 3 days ago from this video's date. In the meantime, another app update was released, as well as a letter from Sonos' CEO, which appeared when you opened the app, explaining the situation and asking for forgiveness. By the way, if this works, I forgive you, Patrick. I forgive you. Wow, already feel better. So time for the call. Took them about 10 minutes to pick up, which is about how long they said it would take to talk to a rep, which is actually great. Jose was very, very helpful and seemed to understand my pain. So I gave him access to my computer and off we went. I told him about my frustration with finding the desktop app. He said he understood and then told me to Google Sonos downloads. What? So I did. And there it was. The holy grail of apps lying there in front of my bewildered eyes. And since I am a nice person, I will help you out and put a link to this magical page below. Downloaded, installed, then set up the network stuff, which I will not bore you with, but it was easy. The rep Jose was actually doing it and I was watching. We did the whole setup in about 30 minutes. Instead of a music library, I chose a folder which I call Atmos QC, and that is now my music library. In there, I place all the .mp4s I need to listen to at home. You ready? Getting ready to press play, but one of my files is not showing up. I refreshed my music library from the desktop app per Sonos' instructions, but it was not showing up. All the others and that specific one, spec-wise, were the same, but with one difference that my constantly troubleshooting brain realized. The others were all exported with an older version of the renderer, while the one not showing up with the latest version of the renderer. Need to investigate this further, and we'll make a short about it and add it to the comments to let you know. Point of clarification. Sonos is not a service provider like Apple Music or Amazon. It is a device, and the app is there to control that device, not to serve the audio. Serve being the key term here. To be fair, and this is most likely an intellectual property issue and not a Sonos issue, for the music library to work, it needs to be set up on a desktop computer. So that can become the server. Again, to be clear, yes, the songs you want to listen to on your Era 300 need to be in your music library or a specific folder that you designate as your music library during the setup process for this thing to work. That's why your device and the computer and phone or tablet or whatever else need to be on the same network. The app would then reflect whatever is in your computer in that designated folder. But remember, when adding songs, to hit Update Music Library in the relevant settings so it can grab any changes from the server computer. Otherwise, it will not show you the new additions. Okay, ready to press play? Yes, it worked, and oh, it was magical. Cannot believe this sound is coming out of this little thing. All the pain was worth it. Yes, though it seemed easy peasy, it ended up being more complicated than a Japanese media conglomerate trying to buy a German cable network. But who cares? A few hours of trouble for Atmos at home nirvana. And happier clients too, since we upped our QC process. Sonos is getting their stuff together, slowly but surely, and with the quality of their devices and excellent customer support, they will cross the finish line as winners and win the gold. I'm watching the Olympics a little too much, I think. though it is tough to win trust back. For example, today, when I'm filming this, there was another update of the app. When I saw it, the first thing that came to mind was not, "Oh great," but "Oh no," hoping that what is now working hasn't been wiped out. You'll know if you see another video. It is so great to finally be able to check my mixes in a home environment. It really is a very important part of the process, especially for older catalog recordings. And you can find out about my complete process of reimagining those classic recordings in Atmos right here.